Another question, another fitness myth or fat loss myth. I get a lot of people asking me how to lose fat in like certain areas of their body. So I want to ask Niall, can you spot reduce body fat?
Yeah, it's probably the main thing we get asked here in Fit Plus and Naas as well, as people say, I want to lose, my fat from the stomach. So a lot of studies will show that at the moment we don't know how to fat reduce. It'll say that we take the fat from all our body first of all, and for most people we call this the kind of stubborn area, their lower stomach. That said, a highly renowned strength coach, Charles Poliquin, has a theory in that our body stores fat due to different kind of hormone imbalances. So, for example, certain hormones, say too much estrogen can be linked to fat stored in certain areas. Too much insulin leads to fat being stored in different areas. So, if that is true, then I would wonder, could it be possible, could we reverse engineer that and look at your hormone balances and what causes you to store fat in certain areas? But at the moment, no, we don't seem to be able to fat reduce.
Spot reduce
fat from our lower stomach. So it's really just kind of getting everything in order: your nutrition, your stress, your sleep, and your training then on top of that.
Exactly. And I've read several times again, similar to that your body naturally fat go like I might hold a lot of fat on my back. Niall mightn't hold, like he'd get leaner on his back. If we were both 10% body fat, I might have more fat on my back than he would. So it depends on your body and your genetics. I find personally, as I lean out, I hold the majority of my fat on my upper and abdomen areas, so all on my front, whereas my back and arms and legs are getting leaner. So it's different for different people as well. So, so that's that one then. I think we're almost finished. That was number 6. So, Niall kind of touched on this one, but a lot of people again ask for eating tips or what's the best diet and stuff. So Niall, as a coach, as someone who has clients, what do you find? Again, I know it's specific to the clients, but what would you find is the best way, the best diet or whatever?
Yeah, so in Fit Plus we recently did an 8-week fat loss program, and the main learning from that was you have to measure. I know people hate the term counting calories and they think it becomes a very tedious process for life, but it doesn't. We find 1 week of actually measuring your calorie intake will teach you more than a month worth of reading, because unless you're actually accurately measuring, you're just guessing really. So there's lots of different ways of doing it. You can do it with apps such as MyFitnessPal, even just taking pictures of all the food you eat before you do it, writing it down in a diary. But we find the first thing is to actually measure your food then and know exactly how much you're taking in. Once you've done that, then you can then put in deficits or surpluses going on from there in accordance with your goals then. But the first step is to measure then. And if it's something you're really unsure to do, just link in with a coach and they should be able to help you do that quite easy.
Yeah, guys, excellent advice. He didn't really say eat this, this and this, but if you don't know how much you're eating or measurements, regardless of any food, if you're overeating, you'll put on weight. So learn how to measure your food. You can pick up a scales in Argos for 20 to 30 euros or something, decent enough scales. I don't track every single thing I eat every day, but if I'm having, say, oats with, say, granola or, seeds, I will weigh out my portions so I know that I'm not, 30 grams of cashew nuts and 50 grams of cashew nuts, there's probably a couple of hundred calories difference. So I used to track every day religiously, and that's when I learned about portion control, portion size. So even if you do it for a few weeks and just kind of get into the habit of knowing, right, I can have this oatmeal with these nuts and seeds 5 times a week, and that's, say, 600 calories or whatever it is. Learn how to measure and learn portion control. So the last question is just his tips for, I got a question recently just asking, he goes, you're a big believer, he goes, I do a lot of spinning, I do a lot of treadmills, he goes, you seem to be a big believer in weights training. Do you have any tips for me starting off? So Niall, as someone who's new to weights, what would you tell them if they were coming to the gym? What advice would you give them?
I think leave your ego at the door is the first thing with weights, because I think a lot of us want to just see how heavy we can lift and pile it on as quick as we can. So your muscles will adapt quite quickly, much more quicker than your joints will actually. So a lot of us, especially guys, they want to do quite a lot of bench pressing and bicep curling, but what that will lead to is an internal rotation of your shoulders and quite poor posture, and while a tear in a muscle might recover quite quick, it can lead to kind of damage in around your joints then as well, which takes a lot longer. So just be patient when you start off with weights. The second thing then would be definitely work with a coach, just someone who can just give you advice and technique. It doesn't have to be a long-term relationship, but maybe a month working with a coach, you'd learn enough then to work away yourself then and make sure that you're safe then, would be the first two things.
Okay, I will add two things to that. I'll reiterate what Niall said. Actually, I never had a coach. I started lifting weights in 2008. I got an introductory program in My Fitness Doc in Dublin. I did weights and I kind of tried to learn everything myself. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. It was good, I made good results, and I did that for years. And I went to a gym in 2015. I joined a new gym in Naas called True Fitness, and it was my first experience of training with coaches, and it was actually great because you would just be squatting or doing your workout. They'd be in the gym and they'd come over and correct technique and show you stuff. And it's something lately, like my strength of training is strength heavy training. So if I'm trying to pull a 210 kilo deadlift, you know, it's a lot different than doing a 100 kilo deadlift. So I'm running the risk of, you know, twinging a muscle or doing something. So what Niall said, leaving your ego at the door, I'm trying to do it now. We can all get a bit guilty of it. I really want to focus on stretching and mobility. So do leave your ego at the door, look at the coach, and then the thing I'd add to that is focus on kind of functional compound movements. Don't get too obsessed with your isolation movements, your bicep curls and machine work. Don't forget, you know, your squats, your overhead press, you know, lunges, all hip thrusts, all that type of stuff. And yeah, don't overcomplicate it. Just do the basics well and work on those before you start doing all the mad isolation stuff. That's it. We're going to get into a workout. It's a resistance band style workout. So we're going to get moving and we're going to hit some mitts afterwards. But this segment will be different than the vlog. This will be a separate Q&A video. So thanks to Niall for answering your questions and my questions. And Niall, if they want to follow you, I know on Instagram it's Niall Barrett PT.
Yeah.
And I suppose is that your main kind of social media?
Yeah. And then we would post it on the Fit Plus Facebook page then as well.
Cool, so there's a Fit Plus Facebook page, and then you can get Niall on Instagram, which is Niall Barrett PT. I'll include that here. And thanks for watching. Great.
Breathe. I can never be complacent with the lies, no complicit with the evil, the spirit you keep inside. People surprised that whether despise like a compassionate pastor upon the pages, surpassing what you've been asking, what passing up in the moment. I live inside of the beat. The point I wanna get across is I'm not accepting defeated, the feeling of being depleted when all I really needed was a little bit of help. I never got it by myself. You mean to tell me that the only reason for living